regarding the connection of the soul with the brain?
That is a very interesting question, the relationship of soul to brain. In fact, this is a hotly debated question in the top scientific world. Many scientists who are directly concerned with this question are nowadays debating it. The whole issue started with Dr. Eccles' observations, who is known to be father of the modern knowledge of nervous system. In fact, he is the inventor, he is the discoverer of certain things which have revolutionized the concept of man about nervous system. So he is the last word on it, a Nobel laureate as well. He first of all observed that mind is different and brain is different. And then the hot debate began, because he was not a man whose word could be ignored and pooh-poohed by other scientists. Now, after that, he has written a book in collaboration with a psychologist. The psychologist, who is not a scientist in the sense that he does not know the brain and the nervous system at all. Only perhaps the preliminary knowledge is obtained by him, but not a thorough knowledge. But the psychologist denies the existence of mind and insists that whatever is the material phenomena, and it is the brain which is end all. And Dr. Eccles categorically refutes his theory and says, I am a man of this field. I have operated upon brains, and I have spent the whole lifetime on the study of brain and nervous system. And from my experience, I can positively say that brain is not all. There is something which we cannot define, which is called mind, and it is superior to brain. And something ethereal maybe, we can't give it a place where it resides, but it's something different than the material phenomena of brain. The second most important scientist who wrote on this is Dr. Penfield, who is the surgeon in epilepsy, of world renown. In fact, he is supposed to be the last word on the brain surgery concerning epileptics. No man has so far excelled him in deftness of operation and the knowledge of brain. He has written a book entitled Mysteries of Mind. He has intentionally used the word mind and not brain. And he quotes instances after instances in scientific terminology and takes sides with Dr. Eccles' observations. And he says positively there is no possibility of brain by itself performing all that it is supposed to perform. He has removed portions of the brain which were responsible for certain actions, and still the actions went on unhindered, and the totality of mind could not be disrupted. That totality is what he calls mind. And I have got the book here with me because I had not finished it while I was coming, so I brought it along. It's a very interesting book. Now, this is what the religious people say called soul. And these doctors also mention it. What we call mind, they say, may be what the religious people refer to as soul, or as vital power, or energy, or atma. And so many words are used by different people using different terminology. But one thing is established, that the time is gone when the scientists used to attack the possibility of existence of mind as distinct from brain. Now they are taking a pedal in favor of religion, with the grace of Allah now. And now the scientists are compelled to bow their head to them because they know the language, they know the art, and they know the science how to defend what they say, what they believe in. Yes, please. Rashid Sahib, you have already asked a question. I should first give opportunity to someone else, please.
Yesterday, I was in Shaban, and the Darood recited a passage from the Holy Quran. So many summarized in the Ile wala Nabe. Tatpakadu Nameho, Sakaram Valukana. Right?
I know, but you think because Sakar is mentioned,
Yes.
so why is it haram? Right. I'll explain this at some other time because it's a very interesting verse and it has to be explained, at some length. And what is the significance of all this? I'll explain later on. Yes.
कि जब आप आमीन कहो तो ये दुआ करो अल्लाह ताला तू मुझे गुरु में रखा मार्फत से या असरार का हकायत हकीकत तो इसमें रोशनी डाले
रोशनी तो डाल दी है Yes, please.
Yes, I would like to know if you could say something about the origin of this importance given to this time.
Origin of?
Nisfe shaban.
The origin of, I think, probably.
This time called nisfe shaban. And whether it has any origin in Islam.
Nisfe shaban, I see. Quite right. No, I don't know much about the origin of this, sorry. Because I'm not interested in that. Everything which was not practiced during the time of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam is irrelevant to the interest of Ahmadis, because they are only interested in knowing what passed as religious rites during the lifetime of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his Khulafai Rashidin. That is important to us. But after that, in the darker ages, when people kept on inventing new things and new rites and new religious ceremonies, we are just disinterested and we don't believe in them. So why should I waste my time, as there are so many things to attend, to go on finding out when they took place.
I was wondering if it had any basis in Islam.
This is what I can deny positively. They have no fundamental, no basis whatsoever as derived from the life of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the lives of the following caliphs. Absolutely no foundation. Had there been, then I would have immediately told you. Yes. Now, yes please. And now, this is your second question? So Rashid Sahib is first now.
This is a question about history, sir. I'm a Punjabi, as you know, and you are
Very much so.
No, you see, sir, I'm proud to be Punjabi, to be honest.
Of course, yes.
The question is that, as you know...
And you are proud of what Punjabis are doing.
How Islam came to India, and how, there is a hadith about Hazrat Salman Farsi, that Hazrat Salman Farsi, the Hazrat Masih Maud is the progeny of Hazrat Salman. Is there, has this been...
No, it is never said that. It is never said anywhere, that Hazrat Masih Maud is the progeny of Hazrat Salman Farsi. Hazrat Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not have said it because he had no issue. So, if you make this mistake, you will land yourself into trouble. Because some of the mullahs would know that he had no issue, so how could he have leave a progeny? The words used by Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam do not mean that. This Anhu sallallahu alaihi wasallam is known to have said, min haulai, from his people, not from him. Haulai is a word referring to the entire people and nation, not to a single person. Minho he has not said. So this is the beauty of Anhu sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wordings. His language is perfect. And if somebody pays close attention to his words, he can never make mistakes. So it is haulai, not ho, which he has used. So the question is dropped automatically. Please sit down. Yes?
मैं अभी परसों लंदन पहुंचा हूँ पाकिस्तान से कराची की जुमात के बहुत सारे अहबाब आप इस्लाम वर्ष कर रहे थे।
आप सलीम हैं?
जी सर।
अच्छा, क्या हाल है आपका?
अल्लाह का शुक्र है।
आप भाई साहब इकट्ठे हो रहे हैं? भाई तो नहीं आपके भाई हैं ना आपके?
बहुत सारे कजिन हैं यहाँ।
कजिन हैं, अच्छा कजिन। ये हमारे हजरत साहब वगैरह, असलम साहब, जी कजिन हैं। जी। तो कराची के अहबाब इस्लाम वर्ष कर रहे थे और बहुत प्यार उन्होंने दिया है। आपका क्या प्रोग्राम है? कब आएंगे इंशाल्लाह?
मैं संडे को इंशाल्लाह वापस आऊँगा।
तो मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत सलाम दुआ दे देना सबको। अगर कैसे कोई दोस्तों में आना चाहते हैं तो आपको दे दूँगा।
जी बहुत अच्छा।
Yes, please. Well,
this is actually my question.
You're there?
Yes. My question is a follow-on from a question asked earlier about test tube babies. The question is that...
are you married? What children?
Two.
Two. Why are you interested in test tubes?
Well, just a bit simple.
That's all.
Well, this is slightly further step from that. The scientists are practicing on doing a lot of research on trying to breed a race where they're taking genes from certain scientists.
Yes, I know that. This is, in fact, it is called genetic engineering. Nowadays, they are working, very seriously in America, and quite a generation of scientists has erupted because it's a new branch of knowledge, and they are paying great attention to this genetic engineering. Now there is a very great danger lying there. There is a nigger in the bush or whatever we call it. The fact is that despite the Holy Quran having foretold many inventions and future discoveries, it has never thrown any reflection or condemned any discovery except this one. Yubaddiluna khalqallahi is the wording used by the Holy Quran, and it says that because Satan would incite them to do it, they would change the creation of Allah. So by that, the early scholars could not understand what the Holy Quran means, because they could not think of any means by which man could change the creation of Allah. So they thought that when you cut the tail of an animal or his ears, that is changing the creation of Allah. While to be strict, the Arabic does not stand for this meaning. It is simply, straightforwardly changing the creation and nothing else. So now this phase has started. And as I told you, no warning is given anywhere in any future development foretold by Allah except in this place. So that means there are going to be great hazards in this branch of science, and already the scientists have started detecting things which are giving them warnings. For example, a research scholar in America took a gene of a bacteria and grafted it to another cell of another bacteria. Now, knowing the details of the characters that gene was bearing and the characters which were already present in the gene of the other bacteria, they could very positively foretell the future generation of the hybrid or the new type of creation. But they were alarmed, greatly alarmed, to find that their prediction had not held true. It was completely a different thing which came into being. And this is why already there is opposition to this science. And there are scientists who oppose this very vehemently. They say, by some mistake, you may create something over which you will have no control and which will completely go beyond your capacity to check and keep in in limited sphere, may break every barrier and destroy life on earth. So this is why new stories are now being written on exactly this topic, that new generations are being created, new types of beings are created, and they are destroying man. But that is fiction. The Holy Quran is not fiction. It is positively giving warning about this possibility which was unconceivable by the man of that time. And also tells that this is going to be dangerous for man. So let's hope for the best.
Although you have just remembered some questions.
Yes, from the lady side first, please.
Hazrat, could you explain why a veil parda is not observed during the Hajj ceremony?
Parda is not observed?
Veil parda, the facial.
Yes, I know. But first, could you explain that why is it that only you put questions and no other lady does? You are the only lady there with a fertile brain, and you put very interesting questions. They're most welcome. Now, the question is that the atmosphere of Hajj is different from ordinary atmosphere in life. When there is a panic, when there are accidents, when there are fires and emotions are agitated in a certain direction, parda automatically goes. Nobody can ever think of parda. People go out even without a head cover and sometimes without shoes. So why? Because the whole emotions of man or woman are directed in a certain way, so that one cannot think of passions and personal involvements on the sexual side. It's impossible to conceive of such a situation and people looking at each other with bad intentions. Now, this is exactly the philosophy why there is no parda in Hajj. It is understood that Hajj is the most deepest experience of man, which emotional experience vis-a-vis his relations to Allah. The expression of love is highlighted, as Hazrat Masih Maud has explained. Even men don't wear normal clothes. They wear just what you call a sheet. They wear a sheet unsewn and untailored, and they don't wear any shoes, and they don't wear any headdresses. Why? Because when you are mad in love, you behave like that. So the Hazrat Masih Maud has written on this in detail and tells us that the Hajj is the height of human relationship with Allah, the Miraj. And their love is predominant, not form. So all the expressions given by the actions of the Hajis are those denoting love. This is why there is no question of any parda for ladies. People who are deeply involved in their emotions for Allah and highly agitated, they cannot think of looking at ladies' faces and be misled and be misdirected in their emotions. Yes?
Recently, just now you have talked about the Punjabi people doing without now. I'm going to bring this new information, a new idea of this Punjabi Maudis being it here in this country, because a couple of years, about a year ago, I had met one my friend. He talked to me about some Maudis new idea that he spoke to them that in this country, in European country, they don't believe in one God. They believe the Christian, the head of the state is Christian. So in such a land, the Jummah prayer by Jamaat is not allowed in Islam. So
What is not allowed in Islam?
yes, they talk to the
Who said that?
some Maulvi
Where?
in UK.
No, but
And one of my
is it public?
non-Ahmadi friends, he was influenced by that Maulvi.
And he ceased to say prayer.
Yeah.
Your
No.
prayer.
He said you may go to the Jummah prayer, but don't tell anybody that it is not allowed in Islam. When
So
you,
if it is that secret, why are you telling us?
and he had further advised him, if you do Jummah prayer by Jamaat, then later on you complete your Zohar prayer, because by Jamaat is not allowed in
Okay. I hope it did. Please sit down. Now, this time is over. Yes, one question from you and then.
Zura, I would like to ask a question. That I understand that Darood is not allowed to recite it in Sajdah. Is it allowed to say Darood in our own language in Sajdah? And what is
Not
the reason?
Darood. I have not heard of Darood being forbidden. Or maybe I don't remember exactly. But verses from the Holy Quran are forbidden to be recited in Sajdah. That I know positively. There is a tradition forbidding us. But about Darood I don't remember. Do you remember any tradition? Yes, that we know, but there is something you can find out.
Yes, I learned that from
Might have misunderstood.
Yes, right.
Or if not, then you quote where you exactly read that.
Yes, my second question, if I may ask, is that in the Holy Quran, the qur'anic prayers, we can't say those in Sajdah, but can we say those in our own language in Sajdah?
Why must you defeat the spirit? The point is that when Hazrat Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam does not promote you to say a thing, to change form and do the same thing is not the correct spirit. Is there no time apart from Sajdah when you must say that?
This is, I'm asking not for my own point of view, this is for tabligh, if we want to explain this to the opposition or to the...
No, what I mean to say is it's not necessary. It's always better to be on the safe side. When you are forbidden from doing something, you better restrain yourself.